All right, waiting for the Florida governor to address the folks. A lot going on there, certainly with the ships and everything else, and a lot of Florida businesses that are in a heap of trouble. And then, of course, the stay-at-home provision that takes effect later tonight in the Sunshine State. We'll keep you abreast of that. But I did tell you about businesses that, again, are in that world of hurt. They're waiting again for some of that stimulus dough coming their way. Karen Kerrigan is the Small Business and Entrepreneurial Council CEO, joining right now via Skype. Karen, always good to have you. Do your members know how to get this money or the process you have to go through to get either the loans and or grants?
Well, many of them have already applied for the economic injury loans, which come directly from the Small Business Administration. But the new program that begins tomorrow on April 3rd, the Paycheck Protection Program, that is going to be basically administered by the banks, many of them already know that they have to go to SBE-approved lenders. And according to Treasury, almost every bank in this country and credit union has been given the authority to do these loans. So they're already communicating with their banks in terms of what they need to do to apply. And the banks themselves are saying, look, we need a little from Treasury, before we launch this program. So there's some issues regarding guidance and clarity, I think, that everyone wants in order to do this successfully, in order to deploy this capital as quickly as possible.
Karen, this latest 30-day extension, the stay-at-home provisions, that means a lot of these businesses are shuttered, restaurants, and so much more. Do you worry if it goes beyond that? And, you get very different, figures and estimates on both in the medical community, business community. But I would imagine many of the people with whom you're dealing can't go much longer like this.
Well, they can't. They needed the capital last week or the week before. And although they're scrambling, they're grinding it out, they're pivoting. Every day is a new challenge. I think many of them have come to the sad conclusion that this is going to go on longer than we thought even last week or even, this weekend, the past weekend. For example, in the state of Virginia, the governor has extended the stay-at-home order to June 10th. So that means there's going to be a lot of restrictions on economic activity. And that hits small businesses really hard. So this capital cannot come fast enough. And as I said, the businesses themselves are really doing a lot to innovate, collaborate, actually developing their own funds. I had one member say, the cavalry is not coming, people. We are the cavalry. So they're doing a lot to work with investors and others in their communities to set up funds because the government hasn't been there yet.
Karen, what I wonder about, too, whether there is an immediate snapback. I don't mean to be a half-empty glass person, but that people might think twice about going into crowded situations, that this distance thing that started through all of this stays a while, that people will be leery to crowd into packed theaters or venues, even stadiums, sporting events, even businesses. Do you worry about that?
Well, I worry about that, of course, because to come, right? So you're going to have a lot of people who are consumers, I think, that are going to be very careful with their dollars. So, we're very optimistic. As I'm an entrepreneur and we represent entrepreneurs, we're always optimistic that there will be a recovery. But yes, absolutely, we're concerned about the robustness and the quickness of that recovery. And that's another thing that many businesses are planning for. Because, Neil, they went into this year be optimistic. They thought 2020 was going to be their best year. They got more inventory. They're hiring people. They're expanding. And then this hit nowhere, a plunge in revenues. Yeah. So, like I said, we got our fingers crossed, and we're hoping tomorrow with the launch of this PPP program, and if these economic injury loans can go quicker through the system, or we'll at least get some capital to these small businesses.
All right. We'll get through this. Karen, I've never heard you anything less than robust and optimistic, so I have a feeling we'll survive. You'll survive. Karen, thank you so much. Always good seeing you.